我諗老公就係你知佢撐你嘅，但係佢唔會出面嘅，可能你感受唔到添啊。
可能男人唔會宣之於口嗰啲係嘛都。
我唔知，我唔識講。
可能男人唔會宣之於口嗰啲係嘛都。
我唔知，我唔識講啊。但係你唔可以話佢冇咯，係咪？
我想象到，因為我老公都係咁嘅。
係咪啊？
因為我老公都係咁嘅。
係咪啊？但係我個女就唔係啦，我個女係又軟又硬嘅，即係我個女係又軟又硬嘅，即係你會睇佢好 discipline 嘅個人。有時咧，即係其實我係好 discipline 嘅，咁啊我就將我呢樣嘢傳咗俾佢噶啦，已經。咁啊我就將我呢樣嘢傳咗俾佢噶啦，已經。但係到我而家年紀大咗，就唔想咁 discipline。有時夜晚黑我追下劇啊咁樣啦，或者係即係做咗啲嘢唔好咁夜瞓啦，我個女就會12點鐘同你一齊追緊劇都好啦，熄機喎。
佢做咗阿媽。
係啊，熄機摺被啊，因為我哋會冚住晒個梳化度好舒服咁啊，摺被夠鐘啊，聽日睇。即係硬嘅佢又會咁，軟嘅佢又好 sweet 嘅。你需要佢啲去，我覺得我自己就會享受晒。如果同女嘅關係，我覺得我自己好幸福，因為好多時我都會聽到人哋講話，啲女大咗咧，佢哋就同你會疏遠啲啊，佢哋就同你會疏遠啲啊，或者係佢嘅諗法唔同啊。但係我仍然好享受我啲女係，仲同我一齊好開心去旅行啊，一齊 share 食嘢啊，所有嘅嘢。我覺得我好幸福咯，喺呢一方面我真係好幸福。
係，但係我字裏行間，我聽你嘅講解咧，我發覺身教係好重要。我發覺身教係好重要。係啊，你教佢要有紀律，但係紀律唔係話你要軍訓嗰隻喎嚇，
係自己係。
係啊，你以身作則嘅時候，佢做到呢樣嘢，佢又將嗰樣嘢投射翻去領導，佢又將嗰樣嘢投射翻去領導。咁呢個係咪就係你同女女嗰個相處之道咧？又係
我諗一定係嘅，即係特別係好多嘢你睇到啊，運動咁樣樣啦。我係一直都有運動嘅人嚟噶嘛，咁佢而家係真係 enjoy 嘅。咁點解佢會無端端係一個爹哋係完全唔運動嘅喎？我諗佢就喺我度嚟咯。呢個撐咧，我就覺得係值得噶啦。即係呢個你要做一個媽媽，點樣撐落去，令到你為咗佢嘅將來，佢嘅成長係能夠一個好嘅將來嘅時候咧，呢個撐係最值得嘅，我覺得。
係。中間有冇試過一啲咧？係好難撐嘅咧？即係譬如湊女嘅時候啊，好辛酸。即係我睇啲朋友話，哇，好勞心勞力啊！又督佢去做功課啊，成嗰啲
喺相處嗰度咧，特別喺佢哋識啲唔識啲嘅時候咧，teenager 嗰陣時候咧，可能會會有嘅，即係因為佢哋會駁嘴噶嘛。讀大學嘅時候，咁你又當佢係大人啊嘛。咁如果佢哋嘅意見同你唔一樣嘅時候，你點樣？你係咪仲用緊你媽媽嗰套？你點樣？你係咪仲用緊你媽媽嗰套？我話咁就咁咧，定係你只係堅持你自己做嘅嘢？我就係要撐落去，唔同佢拗啊，而希望佢可以明白我點解咁做。嗱，我覺得呢樣最難學嘅。你要諗嗰個最後你係贏唔贏到佢咯，贏到佢個心啊，你話贏到佢人啊。所以日後而家，我覺得我而家就係收成咯，因為之前咁樣撐落去，而家就係贏到晒佢哋咯。
咁毛姐你就係以呢個烹飪了得見稱啦。你喺法國藍帶嗰度學師添噶嘛？其實呢一個嘅烹飪過程，我自己諗會唔會係俾到你一種哇精神嘅撐住啊？因為你自己都中意煮嘢食嘅時候，一 因為你自己都中意煮嘢食嘅時候，喺煮嘅過程中，哇，應該都好 enjoy 喎，係咪嘅咧？
當然係一個錯誤嘅諗法，當初就係以為好優，當初就係
應該都好 enjoy 喎，係咪嘅咧？
當然係一個錯誤嘅諗法，當初就係以為好優雅嘅一件事，然後去當初就係以為好優雅嘅一件事，然後去發覺
好優雅喎，即係
烹飪啊嘛，係咪？
係咯，
即係好膚淺嘅認識之後就去讀啦咁樣。其實人哋訓練廚師啊，喺法國喎，即係語言又唔溝通之下，即係語言又唔溝通之下，而家要求又咁嚴謹，人哋要開餐廳㗎嘛。我覺得我好多嘢都唔識㗎，即係只不過係煮出嚟似樣嘅啫。即係只不過係煮出嚟似樣嘅啫，但係有好多技巧上面嘅嘢，特別係西餐嘅 sauce 啊，呢啲做醬汁係最難嘅，即係難到好多技巧上面嘅嘢，但係有好多技巧上面嘅嘢，特別係西餐嘅 sauce 啊，呢啲做醬汁係最難嘅，即係難到我想放棄好多次，就係又係死撐啦。
哦，
但係都好彩，我當其時撐住，因為如果唔係嘅話咧，如果我放棄咗嘅話咧。如果我放棄咗嘅話咧，我以後都唔會再讀噶啦，因為而家更加唔會有體力同埋唔會有時間俾我咁樣做。
因為譬如我家姐好中意烹飪，佢話佢覺得煮嘅過程中好放鬆，係呢個係佢個興趣，佢個嗜好咯。咁但係你又似乎係有啲壓力俾咗自己嘅，都。
因為我對食物有要求啊，即係譬如我啲材料啊，成日我係唔想嘥咗佢啊，我想係做到最好，同埋我好中意見到我個女啊，我屋企人、我啲朋友啊嚟食飯，佢哋好 enjoy 我煮嘅嘢，呢個係我好大嘅滿足感嚟嘅。但係嗰個過程咧，我就好有壓力啦，因為我真係要擺好多心機，譬如我請客咁咧，我係要做3日嘅，同埋你
3日，我做3個鐘就算㗎啦。
做到咧，第二日咧呢啲關節全部發炎啊，腫晒嘅咁樣。咁所以我自己就係一個做乜嘢都要希望做到最好。原來加咗俾自己，而家呢個年紀加到啲壓力咧，佢就會有啲咁樣做到最好。原來加咗俾自己，而家呢個年紀加咗啲壓力咧，佢就會有啲咁樣嘅反應。
你話我關節會紅啊腫，呢個係紅斑狼瘡嗰個嘅一個症狀係咪？係咁，所以呢個都係一個身體俾到你一個嘅信號啫。係咁，所以呢個都係一個身體俾到你一個嘅信號，就係話你唔可以咁大壓力啦。
係，即係我冇諗過煮嘢咧，係原來你有一日，可能煮唔到嘅，我冇諗過。即係但係我知道我會有嗰一日嘅，體力係應付唔到嘅。即係但係我知道我會有嗰一日嘅，體力係應付唔到嘅。
喺同阿毛姐去做訪問之前咧，我已經諗定一定要問嘅，因為好多網友都好關心呢一樣嘢，就係毛姐嘅凍齡係非常之有術嘅。係啊，咁大家都覺得你 keep 得好好。咁但係有時咧，譬如喺香港嘅做女藝人咧，有一個嘅辛酸嘅狀況就係，唔知點解大家對女人個要求好高。即係你可能你有小皺紋嘅話，啲人咧都會係去話你啊，又或者去批評啊咁樣。咁你面對住呢一啲嘅外面嘅一啲嘅評論嘅時候，你又點樣撐住自己嗰個 EQ 咧？
嗱，我覺得咧，唔係淨係塊面嘅，係整個狀態嘅。咁個狀態要行出嚟唔似一個老人家，唔似一個已經咁嘅年紀嘅時候咧，你需要運動。咁運動其實俾到我好多信心嘅，行出嚟。因為你個人都行步路都直啲啦，係咪？係所有嘅嘢，咁你個人又健康啲啦。有啲係你先天嘅嘢就冇得改變嘅，例如我冇白頭髮嘅，
太過分啦！
係啦，咁呢個係呢個就
係
係即係先天俾我嘅嘢啦。咁至於皮膚，我又覺得我媽媽，皮膚唔錯㗎。佢而家80幾歲，佢都完全冇化妝。個人都好精神嘅。佢俾咗我一個比幾好嘅皮膚。後天嘅嘢咧就係、其實而家好多嘢可以令到，譬如 supplement 啦，可以令到你即係食咗之後咧，你個健康有改善，咁你個皮膚又會好啲啦。仲有嘅就係、我諗個個都知，我成日都講糖同埋澱粉係真係令到你有糖化嘅。糖化咗就有啲咩皮膚差啲咯，係唔係一樣嘢嘅？如果人哋覺得我個狀態仲係好好嘅時候，係好多樣嘢夾埋嘅。咁我都會老㗎，我都會有紋啊，所有嘅嘢㗎。咁我會唔會好驚？然後我唔希望自己有一條紋咧？作為一個演員，你唔會咁樣諗。其實我最近同有啲導演做一個訪問嗰陣時，佢哋講俾我聽，就係呢樣嘢啦。佢話有一啲角色咧，其實當其時係好想揾我做嘅，但係佢覺得佢有一個咁大個仔係唔似，而我年紀已經足夠有餘噶啦。所以作為一個演員，你 keep 住咁 young，你做咩角色啫？你明唔明啊？
我明白。
你談情說愛啊？定係你接受你個人已經係呢個時候？你做一個演員都有好多嘢想講㗎，都要有呢啲嘢，你先至做到呢個角色㗎嘛。咁所以我覺得我會接受我而家嘅狀態係自然嘅，係舒服嘅。啲劇本嚟到我可以做嘅。
最後咧，如果譬如有一個人佢同你講話，哇，我心很累啊，毛姐，你點樣撐翻佢咧？
其實我都好攰。你想點啫？即係所謂撐落去係咪？你覺得好苦啊？你唔會樣樣都有嘅。譬如好似我醒咗咁，我會覺得，哎，我好感恩，我瞓醒嘅時候我係好健康。或者你諗下你有嘅嘢，我諗呢個同半杯水好嘅道理好緊要。你數一數你有嘅嘢，就唔好諗住你所有嘅問題裏邊好多憂慮嘅嘢係你冇嘅嘢，或者係未發生你驚佢會發生嘅嘢。醒咗嗰下諗啲你有嘅嘢，咁你就好感恩嗰一日行落去，咁你就唔會咁苦咯。我諗。
Maunga horo nuku foka iwi he nua ki tana tahu to his lover.
Easy for you to say.
like G-I. G? G? G-ah? No, it's Z. When in doubt, just remember that everything in this language is a Z. And what about this one? NG. This is actually easy. It's like the NG in sing, sing. But they often put it at the front of words, which should be illegal, like in the word người, which means person. Người, người, người. I actually really like that. But oh boy, when they start putting these letters with mutations together, I just lose my mind. And you might be wondering, what is that rod on top of the O in người? Ah, who cares? Just ignore it. It's not important.
You can't ignore it. That's a tone marker. Vietnamese has tones.
Oh, so now you're an expert. Fine, Vietnamese has tones, but at least they're clearly marked on each word. If you're studying a different tonal language like Thai, you just gotta guess the tone. And with Chinese, you gotta decipher hieroglyphics and then guess if it goes flat, up, down, or down, up. The Vietnamese language has a whopping 6 tones. That's one more than Chinese. And to put it into perspective, that's 6 more than Afrikaans. The first tone is a mid-flat level tone, and there's no symbol for it. This is what you'll use when a word is naked, and it's pronounced like ma, ma. The second tone is a low falling tone that is denoted by a water slide going down. For this one, you have to pretend like you're depressed and make it go down.
Hey there, Russian the last Sarah. How do you have 70,000 plus words known in some languages? Like, first of all, how long did it take, and when do you self-consider fluent? 70,000, honestly, it takes about like a few years, maybe 2 or 3 years. Yeah, if I study about 50 to 100 words a day, maybe around 330,000 a year, so 2.5 years somewhat, especially if you're consistent, because I thought it's better to go more steady pace instead of like trying to go all in at once and then chill, all in at once, chill. What do you consider yourself fluid? Honestly, I would consider myself fluid if I'm been thrown in the country and I stay for like a month and you can talk to people. But if you pretty much are you have like 100 encounters, this will be like a good test. If you have like 100 encounters in real life of the target language and they don't give you some kind of reaction, they don't switch to English, and then another condition is you can express yourself well and you understand the other person. I'll say the biggest part is like, can you understand them? See, like without that, you pretty much can't even achieve fluency. So once you understand them well enough, then now the second part is, can you express yourself well enough in almost every single case? That's pretty much fluid. Pretty much like B2 level. Like you can express yourself and you can understand majority of the cases. Like if you're thrown in a different country, you could pretty much survive for a while. Like I would say like a few months, like 3 months maybe. If you can survive 3 months, then you're good. Like that's like a real life case. You throw yourself in a country. If you can't afford to live in a country, then probably just have a lot of interactions. And if you happen to notice that most of them don't switch to English or they'll give you a weird look, then that's pretty much already there already, naturally. Yeah, pretty much just try. The goal is what percentage of success do they not switch to English, and do they not give you a weird look, and can you understand them, and can you actually express every thought that you can think of? That's fluent. I'm not fluent in any language, only English. The other, yeah, my main languages are just languages I understand well enough so that I can have conversations. Probably not anything super tough like political or professional environment. If your goal is professional, then you got to study a lot hard, but I'm more of a casual, just travel to the country, talk with people, and have the case of talking and learning wisdom from other older people, younger people, whoever. But yeah, you really know if your language is good. Just try to talk to another person in a different country who is younger than you. Oof. If they don't switch on you, that means you're doing a good job. Because they often switch pretty fast, especially like Europe.
Sound like ma, ma. The third tone is a high rising tone denoted by a ladder going up. And you gotta get a little fruity and loosey-goosey to make this one. It goes up like ma, ma. The fourth tone is denoted by this super aesthetic hook on top, and it does a little dip and then rises. It's basically broken in the middle. It's like a question mark that goes up and curves around, like ma, ma. And actually, this is the tone on the word faux. It's not faux, it's pho. But this next one is a squiggly caterpillar, and the only way to describe this is that it sounds like a dying sheep. This one's so fun. It's pronounced like ma, Ma? And the best part is that the word for America in Vietnamese uses this tone. Mỹ, God bless, Mỹ. And the last tone is very low and short, denoted by a little period below the vowel. And it just sounds like a little grunt to me. You got to get low with your e-boy morning voice and just be like, ma, ma. Aber pass auf, Digga, these tones can get you in a lot of...
I appreciate, bro, the answer, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I saw your stream the other day and I got motivated, and I'm almost 10,000 words in Russian. It's my second language. Yeah, man. If you saw the other streams and you stay, I appreciate it. If you have any recommendations, feedback I can do during the streams, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just studying and I'm just trying to make progress. So, yeah, I'm always open for Q&A questions, anything you might have questions on, then I'm pretty open. I'm just here to answer any questions you might have that you think might be valuable to you, because I can only provide anybody like Russian, because I have 14,000, but I'm not sure how much I can provide answers in terms of that. But it seemed like you're on a good roll, and yep, hopefully you're doing well, man.
of trouble if you mess them up. Take the word L, O with the hat, N. If you put a e-boy dot tone underneath it, you're just saying you messed up. But if you accidentally put the water slide on top, woohoo, yippee! This is a PG channel, so I'm not gonna say what that means. I genuinely have no idea how Vietnamese NPCs string all these noises and tones together and understand each other without subtitles. And even just sounding out words is hard, because letters can have hats, but then there can be an accent marker on the hat. It's a busy yet calculated fustercluck. Vietnamese is impossible to pronounce.
And it sounds super ugly. It's the ugliest language in the world.
You don't even know how it sounds. Shut up.
Oh, yes, I do. Watch, I'll say something in it.
Okay, you will hear a lot of that in Vietnam. And it's true that many articles, videos, and Reddit threads will say that Vietnamese is the ugliest language on the planet. But I promise you that those people are delusional, uncultured NPCs. Because of the tones, crazy vowels, and most words only having one syllable, Vietnamese does sound pretty choppy and foreign to most ears. And believe me, I get it. I watched a Vietnamese water puppet show in Hanoi before I knew one single word. I know just how wild it can get. It's one of a kind. It has personality, and I promise that if you get used to it, you'll start to hear its beauty. Yeah, the words don't flow together in a gay way like French, and it's not as rhythmic as Italian, but give it a chance. I personally think it's gorgeous, sort of like a roller coaster of sounds and pitches that blend together rather nicely. And I adore Vietnamese music. There are so many bangers that come out of Vietnam, including a TikTok masterpiece that you've all heard. Giây phút em gặp anh là em biết em si ting, ting 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 tang tang ting tang ting 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 tang tang tang. And I love Vu Tang Van and Min. Oh my goodness, the part that Min sings in Vietnamese in the remix of Girls. The language is gluey. There is glue everywhere coming out of every letter, so much glue. It's more like the noise someone makes when they're doing the punching. Sabrolarim naber. YouTube kanali mateşref edip şeref verdiniz. Benim adım Dil Sevdalisi. Amerikalıyım. Bugün sizlere birlikte Türkçe üzerine konuşacağız, otherwise formerly known as Ottomanese language, Uzbek 2, Suffixian, or Dr. Oz language. This is the 17th episode of Language Review, a series where I go through the languages of the world and review them, sort of like a film critic or a video game reviewer. And at the end of the video, I'll give them an official rating from Dogwater to GigaChad on the Simp scale. If you're serious about learning a language and want to see more videos from me, check out my Patreon page where I post bi-weekly videos and answer your language learning questions one-on-one. If you enjoy this video, let me know which language I should review next in the comments, and without further ado, Hadi Bakalim.
Turkey? I love turkey. I eat it with gravy on Thanksgiving with my family.
Shut up. That's such a stupid recycled joke. I've heard it 1,000 times.
Oh, sorry. But I also love Turkey, the country.
Excuse me? I believe you mean Turkiye?
No, Turkey, the country with the red flag.
It's Turkiye. Stop dead naming it. Anyway, the turkey is a large bird in the genus Meleagris, native to North America. Sorry, I mean a turkey is when you get 3 strikes in a row when bowling. Okay, sorry, Lütfen beni affedin, I couldn't resist. The Turkish language is mainly spoken by over 70 million NPCs in Turkey, which is one of my favorite countries in Europe. There they have gorgeous cities with stray cats everywhere, breathtaking nature, skibbity bop bop, hairy people like me, vendors who repeatedly steal the ice cream you literally just paid for, and really good soap operas. I could think of like 31 reasons why I'd want to visit Turkey, so I'll name a few. I'd love to book a ticket on Turkish Airlines and get a nice affordable Turkish hair transplant. Maybe you get a discount if you speak their language. And I'd also love to try Turkish oil wrestling, my favorite sport to watch, where large men cover their bodies in olive oil and compete to achieve a rather strange objective. And I also really need to see what the heck is going on in Batman, which is a real place. But most of all, I'd love to meet Malum Kishi, the one who shall not be named, who is extremely handsome and tall and perfect. You and Malum Party are great. Please don't arrest me when I come to your country. However, no other place is as well known for having Turkish speakers than Western Turkey. I mean, Turkany, Turkland, Germany, which is home to around 3 million speakers. And Turkish is also spoken by minority groups in other places, such as Western Europe, the Balkans, the Middle East, as well as, wait, why does that look like a bad cosplay of the USA? Cyprus, where it's a co-official language. And then Azerbaijani is mutually intelligible, so practically speaking, you automatically unlock this DLC when you learn the language. Unfortunately, we don't have too many Turkish-speaking NPCs in the USA, but the ones we do have tend to be in New Jersey. Really? New Jersey? What the f? So with about 80 million NPCs speaking it worldwide, learning Turkish will unlock you quite a lot of DLC. But did you know that you, yes you, already speak this language? According to the Sun language theory popularized by nationalist Hüseyin Cahit Yalçın, all human languages originated from Turkish. So German, Swahili, French, American, and everything else are all just dialects of kebab language. I think he was onto something. But while Turkish does have dialects itself, it's not as much of a fustercluck as languages like Vietnamese and Italian, where everything differs from town to town. Instead, within Turkey, you mainly just have a few major dialect groups shown here. Oh wait, wrong map. That's Greece. There we go. Rookie American mistake. They're basically the same thing anyway, you can't blame me. First we have Western Anatolian, and this is normie Turkish and it sounds clear with neutral pronunciation like American English. Standard Turkish, which is what you'll probably learn, is based on the variety of Western Anatolian spoken in Constantinople. I mean, Istanbul. Sorry, I was born in 1452 before they changed the name. Then we have Eastern Anatolian, and this is fun GigaChad Turkish. They've got a heavier, more rough and tough accent with some based Kurdish influence. I'd say it's relatable to Scottish English. Then we have Black Sea or Northeastern Anatolian, and this is spicy Turkish. It's melodic and sing-songy, and other Turks love to meme their dialect. It reminds me of Jamaican English, very beautiful, distinct, and memorable. And lastly, there's one village in Turkey where they speak bird language and whistle to each other to communicate. But now if we leave Turkey and go to the little American-looking island, here in Cyprus they speak Cypriot Turkish, which is influenced by Greek. And these NPCs sound so cute and adorable. They could be cursing you out and you'd still smile. Aw, it reminds me of Brazilians. And if we fly to the least controversial region on Earth, we find Balkan Turkish. Wait, how'd it get there? It feels like there must have been an empire or something at some point. The dialects here are a bit old-fashioned, and they do some cool fusion stuff where they add words from their local languages. I've heard Bulgarian Turkish, and it's pretty hardcore. Then in Iraq and Syria, they have a more guttural dialect influenced heavily by the greatest language ever, El Arabiya. So they often replace the K sound with a K. Next, we have Caucasus Turkish, which is also old-fashioned and influenced by languages of the region, including Ruski. Then you've got the diaspora in Turkany and the Turkey lands, who basically just speak standard Turkish, but might add a rogue diga or maker in their sentences from time to time. I heard a ton of Turkish when I was traveling in Germany, especially in the best airport on earth, Flughafen Frankfurt, Main. And if you want to go speak Turkish in Turkany or travel anywhere else, you should check out Saily, who I'd like to thank for sponsoring this video. Saily is a new eSIM service app that offers you several affordable eSIM plans in a growing number of destinations, allowing you to easily get connection abroad or even in your home country. I travel a ton, and I used to waste so much money going through my carrier for data. But now, Saily saves me money, time, and I don't have to trust some random guy on the phone to activate my data when I arrive. Saily is so much more convenient than buying a physical SIM card. It takes barely any time to set up, and it allows me to use my phone reliably right when I land. And right now, you can get an exclusive 15% discount on Saily eSIM data plans. Download the Saily app or scan the code on screen and use code LANGUAGESIMP at checkout. Looking for SIM cards in shady stores abroad is a nightmare, and now instead of desperately running around looking for public Wi-Fi like a beta, you can install the Saily eSIM and you won't even need to install a new one for each country.
Oh, hi there. Usually in my stream, all I do is just study, and you're just gonna just pretty much watch me just listen and I learn words. So it's not as the most entertaining, but this stream is just mostly for people that just come in, want to see how I learn the language, or if you have any questions about a language learning like Mandarin Chinese, because that's what I'm more known for because it's my first foreign language. But like any recommendations for methods or pretty much anything about language, you just ask the question. Otherwise, this is more of you just watch me and do stuff, or you can always study along with me. Just mute me on the side and just put me on the side and then just study so that you're motivated. So it's like a good way of knowing that there's always someone working hard that you can pretty much try to match up to. Because I study many hours a day and I'm pretty consistent. So just consider like a motivational study partner kind of stream. But you have any questions about language learning, I have a Discord. You can ask me here, or you can put a comment on any video, and I'll do like a video response depending on what the question is. But yeah, if you get the gist of it, then that's pretty much what I do. But thank you for your question.
Saley eSIM data plans today. Download the Saley app and use code LanguageSimp at checkout or scan the code on screen to get started. Now it's time to talk about the writing system. The Turkish language used to be written in the gorgeous Arabic script for about 900 years until being replaced practically overnight in 1928 by Turkey's George Washington, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. This work of art, as beautiful and perfect as it was a bit too hard to pair with Turkish phonetics, so Ataturk decided the American alphabet would be a better fit. That's crazy to me. Imagine if Trump tomorrow was like,
I love Russia. Their D is a big, beautiful crab. We must all now write in Cyrillic.
And Ataturk was a total gigachad. He himself then toured the country to teach the new writing system to all the NPCs. So nowadays, Turkish is written in a modified version of the American alphabet with 29 letters instead of the normal 26. I bet it's similar enough to what we use, so let's just run through it quickly. A, B, J. Wait, J? What the doner kebab? Must have been a typo. However, a lot of letters still are normal, so let's focus in on the quirked up mutant creatures. The C is a furry with a tail coming out its behind, and it makes the ch sound like in chilies. Then the normal G is gay, pronounced like g g g, but the G with a bowl on top makes the sound. Wait, what? Why is this a thing? I hate silent letters. You're under arrest, buddy. Go hang out with your friends. It's called the Yumashak gay, and it sort of extends the vowel before it, and some hard mode dialects go feral with it and turn it into other stuff. And then we stumble upon my worst nightmare. This is a very normal and standard I, and it's pronounced like E. But if you decapitate the letter, that is, cut the dot off the top, it becomes a new letter, and this makes the sound. It's like a short little manlet stick that looks really bizarre in words. It's too tiny. Why are you hiding, little buddy? It reminds me a lot of the Russian uy or uy, which is the noise someone makes when they get punched. But to pronounce the Turkish it's more like the noise someone makes when they're doing the punching. And then they have two O's. The naked O is normal, like O, while the O with the nipples on top makes the sound. Sort of like the noise baguette people make when you ask them a simple question. Then the furry S with a tail makes the sh sound, which I must admit is more efficient than using S plus H. And finally, we have two U's. The normal U is pronounced like ooh, while the U with the dots is more of a rounded ooh. So the alphabet doesn't seem too bad. Yeah, you might need to try boxing in order to get the ooh out, but other than that, nothing sticks out as difficult. Except the pesky Yumashak gay. Come on out of prison, little buddy. Wait, where'd the Russian silent letters go? Hadilan Ordan. Even though it doesn't make a noise, the quirked up.
My advice for speaking more confidently is you can look up a term shadowing. So you can search shadowing by Alexander Ageas. You pretty much listen to an audio of the person you want to mimic and you want to speak like them. So you want, as they talk, you have earbuds and you want to talk as the audio goes. So for example, you say I like pears, and you also have to say I like pears to try to match the sound. That's one way, and you can also attend language classes. So I recommend like preply.com is where you can get like online classes, because I think that classes give you confidence when you talk to a real person. The idea of you talk, they understand you, and then you get motivated to talk more. That's where the confidence come from, and that's pretty much the best advice I give. So just Preply. You can look up English. Depending on your native language, you can choose your native language. You could go with the cheapest, and you can always look for someone that you want. For people from many different countries, it's very diverse for English. So you have many options here, but generally, this website is really good for improving confidence. And if you want to sound more a native, then you do something called shadowing, as I mentioned just now. But hopefully that answered your question, Kimiska 9670.
G has a big effect. This means nothing, but if you add the gangster G on the end, it extends.
I may ask, what is your native language? If may ask.
The A vowel like da, and now it means mountain. This is absolute nonsense. But if you add our little buddy, it turns into yağmur, and now it means rain. And with that G and a bunch of other vowels, you'd think this language would be hard and annoying to pronounce, but
Polish. Isn't the time there like, let me think, 1 a.m., right? I think, let me look, Polish time, Poland time. 12:56. Okay, you guys have a 9-hour difference, so 12:56. Okay, it's okay, man. It's okay, as long as you're sleeping enough, I suppose. But that's the best I can say. But I can join. I tend to get a lot of Europeans on this stream for some reason. I actually never got like I only got like one American, and then everyone else is European, which is kind of cool. I'm actually curious why that's the case, but yeah. If there's any other questions you got, then and I'm always here. If you follow me, you're just gonna see me stream every day. My journey to learning multiple languages. Polish is on my list actually, so I know that language is like super complicated, but it's always I can always start somewhere. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I actually had like another user that was a girl, and she's from Belgium, and she's like French Belgium. So I thought, okay, I usually tend to attract like more of the male audience, but it's cool that knowing that there's also both a female and a male in the stream. It's nice to know there's diversity, but it's awesome. But I welcome you here, and let me know if you need anything. I'm just gonna be studying.
But it's really not. And this is because Turkish has a magical supernatural abracadabra feature known as vowel harmony. Turkish vowels come in groups, and the vowels in a certain group flow well and are easy to pronounce together. So the GigaChad Turkish developers made a rule where these vowels from one group will always be paired with one another. They're almost segregated. The letter groups seem kinda racist? So vowels in the stem of a word will flow nicely into vowels towards the end. You won't need to strain or injure your mouth or do gymnastics with your tongue like you have to in French and Russian. And this feels really good as a learner, especially when you realize that you'll be adding a ton of suffixes to every word, so you'll need to know these vowel groups very well or you will go to prison. Erdogan himself said that if you're caught getting the vowel harmony wrong even once, you will be sentenced to 5 years.
You just said Malum Kishi's name.
Oh crap, I didn't mean to do that. Cut the camera.
Dikkat et. Silivri soğuktur.
Nah, that's propaganda. Silivri sıcaktır. And partly thanks to vowel harmony, Turkish sounds beautiful. I find it relaxing to listen to. It's very flowy and extremely smooth, but with
May I ask if you're still here? Do you happen to know what Link is, or do you come from Link, or do you just came from YouTube? Just passing by, because most of the people that know me are usually from this application called Link.
strong masculine undertones baked in. It's like a rhythmic machine gun. And the sounds that stick out to me the most are the frequent z's, chuz and juz. It's like Polish, but with vowels. And surprisingly, people often say that Turkish sounds like Japanese. And at first I didn't believe it until I heard some comparisons. It's actually crazy. Here, listen to this. First in Turkish, then in Japanese.
Havacılıkla ilgili bilinen tüm yasalara göre bir arının uçabilmesi mümkün değil. Kanatları tombul vücudunu yerden kaldırmak için çok küçük. Ama arı tabii ki yine de uçuyor.
私の名前はキヨテちゃんです。北朝鮮が大好きですよ。
Uncanny resemblance. But seriously, linguists did used to think that Turkish was related to Japanese, but that's since been debunked. And Turkish music is straight flames. I love all the songs from this guy, Acar Anik. His lyrics speak to my soul, but nothing touches my heart as much as the girl group Man.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah. That's nice of you to recommend me. Yeah, you pretty much get the general gist what I do, so yeah, it's up to you what you want to do from here, but it's always glad to know that you stepped by and just said hi. That's all that matters.
Nin?
Manifest. They're like twice, but better. And instead of K-pop, it's T-pop. And I've memorized the entire dance that goes with their banger called Snap. Perhaps I'll film it and post it on Patreon. But now let's talk about vocab. Turkish words are extremely Turkic, so you won't find many cognates with most languages unless you speak Arabic, Persian, or maybe French. For me, Turkic vocab is a complete new beast, so let's start with a simple, common word so you don't get too overwhelmed. Görüşürüz. Holy crap, this word looks insane. It's like a body-modified Hot Topic employee with piercings everywhere. Let's skip that one and look at Czechoslovak, which means hello. No, I'm kidding. Hello is just merhaba. But this monstrosity means apparently you are from among those whom we couldn't make into a Czechoslovakian. What the baklava? I'm serious, that is a real comprehensible Turkish word, and I could think of a few uses for it. The reason some words are so wild is because Turkish is an agglutinative language, which means you take one word, then attach anywhere from 1 to a billion suffixes on the end of it to create a very dense black hole of information. And there are suffixes for
Sejahtera bagi kita semua.
Hai, nama saya Clancy.
Hello. I'm learning Italian too, and I find you very motivating. Oh, appreciate it. Actually, learning Italian too. What kind of learning material do you usually use for learning Italian? I'm always open to learn new things. So other people's knowledge is also could be other people's treasure as well. Appreciate the compliment though.
everything. For example, for plural, possession, location, direction, tense, aspect, mood, negation, ability, person, question, and evidentiality, to name like 1% of them. Let's take the word Hindi and have some fun with it. Please fasten your seatbelts. Hindi means turkey in Turkish, like the animal, not the country. But if we add lar to the end of it, it becomes Hindilar, which means turkeys plural. Then add an im to that, and we get Hindilerim, meaning my turkeys. Add a day and we get Hindilerimde, meaning in my turkeys. Then kilar and we get Hindilerimdekilar, which means from the ones in my turkeys. Skip a few steps and we get Hindilerimdekilar den missioners which roughly translates to as if you were from the ones in my turkeys. So yeah, imagine this type of structure repeated quickly in a group setting with a bunch of Turks speaking informally to one another, and you'll see just how much of a challenge this language will be. It's not hard per se, but it's just so different from languages most of us are used to speaking. And if we look at one of these forms, notice that all the vowels are from one of the vowel harmony groups, which allow you to easily create these suffixes yourself once you've memorized the groups. And you got to be careful with vowels, because if you say this, you're just saying you're bored. But if you accidentally put the heads on the eyes, you just said something happened to you that is very vulgar. It really blows my mind how much information can be stored in just one word. Like even simpler, to ask someone, where are you? You just say, neredesin. You have the where and you are glued together. It's like magic. But at least between these long words, they like to use the best filler word on the planet, yani. I love Arabic, and if you've ever heard anyone speak it, you've heard them say yani a million times, which is the same word, just the Turks drop the ayn. I also love the word çok, which I think is the best sounding way to say very in any language ever. And to say yes in Turkish, you say evet, which is so freaking unique and pretty. Evet. And apparently you can say yes by just softly closing your eyes for a few seconds. How's my pronunciation? And no is hayır, but apparently you can say no by just raising your eyebrows instead. My eyebrows look like fat caterpillars, so I bet my pronunciation is super clear. Turkish is practically a sign language. If you lift your head up and flick your neck, according to Turks, this means I don't have money. But one of my favorite things about any language I've ever encountered is the way that Turks laugh when texting. We go ha 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 ha, Mexicans go ja 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 ja, Brazilians k k k k k k, and that's cool and all. But Turks just smash their face into the keyboard like I wonder if anyone's ever accidentally written Shakespeare or the US Constitution while laughing. It seems impossible, but one Turk I know hit the lottery by typing the same exact letter combination 6 times in one group chat on different dates. And he managed to do this even though Discord is illegal in Turkey. What are the odds? Probably better than the odds of you understanding Turkish grammar. Let's begin with the positives. Turkish does not have grammatical gender. Tables are not women like they are in French, so I'm no longer attracted to them. And there are no articles, no las, thes, nor der, die, das's anywhere to be found. And that about wraps up the positives. Turkish grammar is a nightmare for learners. I'm convinced the devs had a meeting and said, we made the pronunciation of this language easy, so now let's take all the hardest grammatical aspects of every language, put them in a blender, and we'll call it Türkçe. For starters, Turks speak backwards. Word order is often the exact opposite of what you'll find in American, like exactly opposite inverse everything. These charts are genuinely mind-blowing, and we should all pay our
I'm not great at language learning, but I try different methods. I have textbooks and short stories in Italian, and I'm listening to some podcasts. Yeah, it's awesome. Textbooks, classics, short stories in Italian. We did short stories. You ever heard of Easy Italian, the YouTube channel? I think they have pretty good stuff. You ever search Easy Italian? This channel's like pretty good stuff. Yeah, podcasts are pretty useful too. So, if you ever need like any advice, just let me know. If I know you're new here, but if you're curious, like what I might be known as, I can only tell you I studied Mandarin for like four to almost 5 years, and I study 10,000 hours, so I can always just a short advertisement, just let you know. If you ever want to learn like a language, but this can be any language, but this is Mandarin I do specifically. I have like this video called I spend 10,000 hours of Mandarin, and I use this application called LingQ. So I highly recommend this application called LingQ. If you're ever curious, you can look it up, but I just leave it out here because I'm only telling you just what I think might help. But it's up to you if you decide just to come listen, get any advice, and just leave and never see me again. But if you do, you want to learn something, I just recommend this video. It's 3 hours long. Yeah, but okay, awesome. Yeah. Just letting you know so that I don't waste your time because I'm trying to provide value for everyone. This channel is only here so that people can get motivated what I'm doing, and I'm just trying to spread knowledge because that's pretty much all I can do as a typical language channel at the moment.
Our respects to Turkish learners. So if I want to eat an ice cream ice to eat want I? That's a bad example because the dude's not even going to give it to me. So if you manage to learn all the words and suffixes you want to say, good luck formulating all the reverse logic to get it out clearly. But apparently in Ohrid, Macedonia, they reinvert everything back to normal. So let's all learn that version of Turkish. And the language also has cases. 6 mind-numbingly frustrating, nightmare-inducing.
I know, don't we love the double backflips, Giga Chan moments? You ever see like his interview with Steve Kaufman? It's actually pretty entertaining, even though he actually made him say that he's a Giga Chan, speaks 20 languages. I think that was like the funniest thing ever. I think I can actually pull it up. Language sim, Steve Kaufman. He actually starts off with this, and it was like the greatest phrase ever. Let's see. No, there's a short somewhere. To make it funny. Where's the shorts? Does he actually start with it? Come on, say it.
I am a hyper polyglot, Giga Chad, alpha male.
Like, what are the odds of actually just making him, of all people, say like the most Gen Z terms possible? Hyper polyglot, Giga Chat, alpha male. That's like the funniest thing. Giga Chat, alpha male, hyper polyglot. Yeah, exactly. It's like the most entertaining thing I ever heard. I replay this clip like 10 to 20 times. And I can't get enough of it, but then eventually I stop. So he has no idea what it means. Maybe he knows everything but the Giga Chat part.
Because the dude's not even going to give it to me.
He probably
so
only
if you manage
knows,
to learn
he probably only knows what anything but Giga Chat. That's what makes it even funnier.
All the words and suffixes you want to say, good luck formulating all the reverse logic to get it out clearly. But apparently in Ohrid, Macedonia, they reinvert everything back to normal. So let's all learn that version of Turkish. And the language also has cases. 6 mind-numbingly frustrating, nightmare-inducing cases which make me very depressed. They've got nominative, accusative, dative, locative, genitive, and ablative cases. What the does ablative mean? This is a ball. If the ball rolls, you say top. If you kick the ball, it becomes topu. If you give a gift to the ball, it becomes topa. Sitting on the ball makes it topta. If the ball has a son, it becomes topun. And if something comes from the ball, it becomes toptan. And if you have multiple balls, now you have 6 other plural forms to memorize. And don't forget, then you'll probably add 30 other suffixes to give the word an even deeper meaning. Toptancıklarindan. Oh, at least verbs aren't that bad in this language. By some miracle, Turkish verbs do not have conjugations nor tenses. Do you believe me? It's not true. I'm lying. It's not true. There are a ton. To properly conjugate verbs, you've got to memorize a million more suffixes and then learn the proper order to attach them while keeping in mind tense, mood, aspect, person, negation, and a whole lot more. But these are mostly regular. For example, to come in Turkish is gelmek. Gel is the stem. So to say I am coming, you add the present continuous suffix ior, then the first person singular suffix so geliyorum. I am coming. And of course, you can add other stuff and make it impossibly long, blah, 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 gelme, belme, leşme, imse. But you've all seen that. The language is gluey. There is glue everywhere coming out of every letter. So much glue, 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 glue. I'll actually start hyperventilating if I explain any more. The subject pronouns are pretty cool, though. Ben is how you say I. So I imagine that someone named
Alexandra.
honestly, I know there's a lot of people like learning Russian stuff. I think that a legit good reason for like learning Russian is the culture. But imagine you could visit like Kazakhstan and stuff. Oh, I think that would be a good dream to go to. They have insanely nice land and places to visit, especially like the snow. Like I don't know, it's like Kazakhstan. Technically, it's still Asia, so nature. Their nature's insane. Holy moly! Like if I were to like say myself what is the final destination, I think Kazakhstan would be a good one. And I think I don't even need a. I think I don't know if I need a visa to travel. Oh, I think I need a visa for like 30 days to go to Kazakhstan. That's about it.
Ben, who learns Turkish, would constantly think everyone is trying to get his attention. So now it's time to talk about shock factor. How will native Turkish speakers react to you speaking their language as a foreigner? Well, if you walk up to a Turk in real life and you speak some half-decent kebab language to them, they're going to do a lot of backflips. They'll immediately buy you a doner and then perform the skibbity bop bop belly dance for you while a man hits a drum and a cat vibes out. Turks love when you speak their language, and they'll be more than happy to help you learn it. They're not like some Europeans who will switch to English instantly and try to mog you. It's not really the most popular thing to learn, so they'll be surprised, grateful, and they'll think you're an alpha. A lot of Turks speak American, but mainly in the major cities, so if you travel outside of them, the shock factor will increase exponentially. Honestly, even butchered Turkish will make them give you the deed to their house and a car, and they might even invite you to partake in a friendly oil wrestling match. And if you speak fluent Turkish as a foreigner, oh my goodness. Erdogan himself will fly you and your family to Ankara and host you at the presidential complex of Turkey. Then he'll give you citizenship and 1 billion lira. So in summary, Turkish is 100% one of the best languages to learn in Europe if you want to shock natives and make them do involuntary backflips. I could talk about this language all day, but I'm going to a hammam.
Did Link ever reach out to you for an interview with their team? They asked me to do an interview on how to improve the site a few months ago. Really? Dang, I never know. How do they even reach out to you to begin with? How's that even work? To be fair, they may be a librarian. That's the closest they ever got me to like an interview because the green symbol here, the librarian status. Like that's the closest I ever got from a Link team. Via email. You happen to know like the person I sent to you? Maybe I can do like a global search. Maybe I have something. Maybe not. Most likely. The only links mail I get is them saying you have 45% off on everything. So is that really that productive? Yeah, I don't really get many. They reached out to the top word count users apparently for that one. Top word count. You talk about the monthly, so that means, for example, if you're here, right? The rank in the rankings, right? Like here, right? The known words, and then the best for like the 7 months. Seriously? No one can beat the ultimate Daisy Gwen. I think she's like the queen of vocab. I don't know how it's possible because she has like 200,000 in some of these languages. I see these. I think, wow. I don't think this many words exist in the dictionary. So anything can happen. So if it works, it works. But you're for Mandarin, okay? Because I know you went hardcore at one point. Because back then I went hardcore. What is that 230,000? Oh, Portuguese. That's Portuguese. Here you go. Yeah, because Portuguese for the link they split into the Brazil flag at the top left and then a Portugal flag at the bottom right. So it looks kind of weird, right? You can tell like the color doesn't really make any certain country. Honestly, I would love to have her advice because once you reach like 100,000 in Mandarin, like it's very almost impossible to go from one page to another just because all the words are already known. So I don't know how on earth you get these numbers. If these are legit, then applaud to her. But okay, imagine hyper focusing all on vocab, but like the efficiency is like so high, but like the listening. But unless her goal is just to read every book in literal history, then that's actually a good goal. Like if that is your goal, not many people do it, but it's a good goal.
Turkish bathhouse, so it's time to give Turkish an official Language Sim certified rating on the Simp scale. On a scale of dog water to Giga Chad, I place the Turkish language solidly in the alpha tier. I really like this language. It sounds beautiful with some crazy noises, and I find it incredibly relaxing.
The alpha tier.
To listen to. Turkey is a gorgeous country with remarkable history that I would love to visit one day, both to get a hair transplant and to just experience the culture. And learning this language will unlock you a ton of interesting DLC with almost 100 million new NPCs to communicate with. However, the suffixes hurt my brain. I'm not opposed to learning languages with difficult aspects, but agglutination is a beast that genuinely intimidates me. This language makes German compound words look like nothing, and it makes Russian cases look like a kindergarten color matching exercise. One day I will learn you Turkish. One day, I promise. I flirted with you in the past. I even did a live stream where I learned Turkish if you want to go watch that. But for the time being, I'm mejorando mi español. But if you're genuinely interested in Turkey, the Turkish language, or Turkish culture, I highly recommend you give this language a try. If you want to see more from me, check out my Patreon. For just $3 a month, you'll gain access to bi-weekly videos where I explain how I learn languages, and you'll be able to message me one-on-one so that I can help you along your language learning journey. And thank you so much to my current patrons for supporting me. Without you, I'm just a little bald gringo, but with you, I am Dil Sevdalisi. So yeah, görüşürüz. السلام عليكم واهلا فيكم على الشانل. كيفكم سافا؟ أنا اسمي لانجويج سيمب وأنا من الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. اليوم بدنا نحكي عن اللغة العربية otherwise known as oil language, Falafelese, Pyramidanian, Ha Ein Ka language, or Omanian. This is the return of Language Review, a series where I go through the languages of the world and review them, sort of like a film critic or a video game reviewer, but for languages, specifically from the perspective of a language learner. I'll discuss who speaks.
Yeah, so I have this very consistent daily study routine. It's usually I do everything in the morning. So for example, I do 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. But before, in the past, when I did Mandarin for 10,000 hours, I did from 4 a.m. to 6, and then I listened pretty much 8 hours a day every day. And then I go home and I still study even more. So I learned the vocabulary. I pretty much did all hardcore for Mandarin, like 8 hours a day. So consistent wise, I'll say at least 1 or 2 hours of just listening and having a separate session for reading to acquire new words. Because when you listen, you need the words, right? Because without the words, you're pretty much listening to from the void. Because unless you have some kind of connection to the language you're learning and to the language that you are, like for example, you're Polish, so you have Italian to Polish. If there's like no link, for example, use English as a translation from English to Italian. Okay, that's your link, and that allows you to learn the listening comprehension more subconsciously, which allows you to listen. That sounds super logical, but so I pretty much have a listening session every day, a session for learning words, and that's pretty much it. And then when the time comes when I can understand a lot, then I attend classes like Preply, for example. I attend language classes, and I actually have one tonight. I actually planning on recording my Mandarin class. I got the consents from my teacher, and then people actually were curious, actually want to see a recording of how I do my classes. I can't if I can even get. I think I got a poll, and so far, Yeah, I got 4 votes on yes. My goal is just to record my next Mandarin class and show that's my third activity. And then the fourth is writing, but I don't really write. So I use Google Translate to fill in any voids. Like if I were to think of a sentence in the words I don't know, I use Google Translate to fill in the void. But that's just me personally. Everyone has different approaches. Like there's so many advice on the internet. It's just whoever you decide to go with and that fits your style. But I just intend to choose the shortest path possible, the laziest path possible that makes decent progress. So that's why I'm like new in this channel, because not only many people think about like the raw hard work, because the ones that have the higher subscribers, one, they've been here for a long time, and two, they usually tend to sugarcoat everything to get the, because we get 10 minutes, you get some good advertisement, you get paid. But I usually just go straight to the point. So yeah. But you will see my study routine. It's in a 3-hour video. Within 3-hour video, it's all raw information. There's no stalling. It's legit good advice coming from someone who studied apparently the hardest language in the world. There's Cantonese. That's actually harder, by the way. But Arabic, that's a different case. But I think the 3-hour video will be very useful. It has all the information. But yeah, that's my typical daily routine.
Speaks them, their grammar, their difficulty, and tons of other stuff before finally giving them an official Language Simp certified rating on the Simp scale. If you enjoyed this video, let me know which language I should review next in the comments, and without further ado, Yalla bina. Arabic? Isn't that the language that they speak in Call of Duty? Seriously, Call of Duty? Astaghfirullah! I mean, yeah, but that's a classic case of Western propaganda spreading harmful stereotypes which make the beautiful Arabic language look bad. But I could never learn it. It's only spoken in the desert, and I like trees and grass. Arabic-speaking countries have trees and grass. For example, Arabic is spoken in the most Sigma country on Earth, the country that not only looks like a Giga Chad, but is also literally called Chad, with a chiseled jawline gently covered by a luscious green beard made of, you guessed it, trees and grass. And if we zoom out, Arabic is spoken in just about every country in northern Africa, to the giant triangles of Egypt, and all the way down to your booty. Wait, Africa's not a country? I guess not. And of course, Arabic is by far the most spoken language in a very interesting region of the world where everyone gets along with each other, the Middle East. And with almost 400 million NPCs who speak it natively and 25 countries recognizing it as an official language, there is no doubt that learning Arabic will unlock you a metric boatload of DLC. You could unlock some of my personal favorite countries with this language, including Algeria, 1, 2, 3, vive l'Algérie, Saudi Arabia, and last but certainly not least, the sovereign country which for some reason American
It's up to you, but I really appreciate it. I'm not trying to force you. I'm just throwing out there. If because I watch my own videos, like the 3-hour stream, I watched it 10 times and I learned something new because like I threw my heart and soul into that video because I didn't expect it to be 3 hours long. I thought it'd be shorter, but that's just 3 hours of raw, like every single possible thing encounterment you will find. But yep, awesome. You ever want to like know what I'm doing? On my channel, there's like a Discord. Up to you want to join. You can go in and have like a section to ask questions. If you have any specific questions, I will answer in video depending how complicated the question is. That's about it.
Google Maps won't display for me, Palestine. I don't talk politics, but there are children suffering in Palestine right now, so please consider donating to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. The link is in the description. Arabs have feet, and therefore sometimes move. So in the present day, there are sizable Arabic-speaking minorities all over the universe, mainly in Brazil, France, Deutschland, Turkey, Dearborn, Michigan, Argentina, El Jerid, and Colombia. Wow, Arabic is spoken in so many places.
Yeah, so if you want to catch like my normal streams, it's gonna be around your 4 p.m., 5 p.m. around there. If you're working, then maybe you'll see it later, but I'm just throwing it out there. That's just how I do it. I might do it like around nighttime too, depending on how I feel, but I usually stream most of the time.
It must be nice that they can all freely communicate and understand each other.
right?
No, not at all. What an absurd claim. I've never heard anything so far from the truth. In reality, there are like 600 trillion bajillion dialects of this language that can differ dramatically depending on the country, or even region, or the region of the.
Oh, that's you. Awesome. Love the name. Love the name. Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, this is like specific, but if you use this Link app, this is pretty much where this area is because I'm specialized in Link. People use Anki if you ever heard of Anki. So, but if you need anything, just let me know. And yep, welcome to the chat. Just ask any question anytime. I will answer like literally seconds after, whenever I'm awake. Uh, I don't know about the Link forum, but maybe because I think they don't allow. I don't really feel comfortable just advertising myself because they will pretty much look down on me eventually, and I'm just trying to have like a normal presence on the forum. Technically, I think because like if they come, I gave the link to my channel, and then maybe they'll eventually get to the Discord, but it's optional. The Discord's optional because the only people that are here are just people that want to know what, like any discussions, questions, but typical questions. But yeah, as long as there's a channel, because I'm always streaming all the time. There's not much difference. So yeah. Well, it'd be nice to let people know on Discord when you go live. I'm still new to Discord in terms of I had the events thing up here, but that's the closest I get. It's very consistent. It just literally says the same exact thing every day. That's tomorrow, like the weekday 7 a.m. But for you, it might be converted to 4 p.m. and Sundays maybe 1 hour later. So it's pretty consistent. Yeah, I guess four people are interested. It's pretty. Yeah, it's all here. This is in the events, but I usually tell people about the first stream, but the second stream, it's random. Maybe I should do it. That's a good idea, but I'll take your advice, and that's pretty good actually. Arabic. This language is way too hard. There's no way I can tackle this behemoth as well. What would be a 20th language? This is just hypothetically. What would be a good 20th language? There's too many of them. Arabic's way too difficult, but just bored. Oof, that's a lot to deal with. Czech. Czech Republic has so many nice things. Cheap beer. Dutch is kind of pointless. Everyone speaks English. Serbian? Who learned Serbian, honestly? I don't know their default dimension, but I think there's like a very good picture. Well, technically it's only for like the idea. I had this vision. I call this picture the 20 languages. Oh, I can't find it. It's somewhere. Okay, never mind it. Unless you can bring in Google Images. No, that's not how it works. I'll try. Mine was what? There's like a YouTuber that gave this really good picture. He said, if you want to learn 20 languages, this is the exact route you would go. Ukrainian, Czech. Honestly, I never understood the Germanic languages. Like, what's the point of learning them? Because Dutch, everyone speaks English. Swedish, 90% of the population speaks English. Norwegian, Danish. If I search English population, English speaking population of a country, this was like very humbling because when I look this up, if I look Sweden, right, 89% speak English. So I don't really understand the point of learning Swedish and all of that. Technically, it's easy, but there's like no use of it. Like if I go to Sweden, I can't use it. I think all the languages I've listed, they have some use. Like I can actually use it if I go to their country. Like my final purpose, I think the final goal to my languages, go to the country. There's also Hindi, so there's Hindi's another one, but that's also a behemoth of a language technically. But I don't think I have a chance. I don't think I'm ever going to go to India, personally. Oh, Belgium, 59%. Yeah, honestly, I'll take 59%. Czech, 50%. I think Czech's not a bad idea. Ukraine. Really, 51% of Ukrainians speaks English. Why 10? To be fair, 10 is because like if you have like a very efficient method, you can pretty much reduce the time amount compared to like an average person doing like say 1 hour. Like they might look up a dictionary that's like 1 minute, right? But if you have application that's I'll translate in like 10 or millisecond, that saves you a lot of time. So I thought if they have like a good method and I can shrink them all and then just do multiple of them within the same amount of time as if I were to say one language. So pretty much efficiency is king, because if you have like a very efficient method, you can pretty much either learn one language so well that you're pretty much like super native speaker. But honestly, I'm not striving for native speaker level. I'm just striving so that I can just have a conversation. Like no matter how basic it be, I'm just going for okay, can I understand this person when he talks to me, like his native language, and can I talk back? Cool. Like that's like the goal. So B2 level somewhere. Yeah. 10 language, I think realistically with the new technology nowadays, you can do it. But back in the day with textbooks and stuff, it's pretty much impossible or very, very hard. Even like the kings of polyglots, like then they pretty much spend 24 hours a day studying nonstop, butt naked. It's actually true. There's actually a guy that studied like 60 languages. Which polyglot studied 60 languages? It's like Shao mentioned Emil Krebs. You know, like the history of Emil Krebs. He studied like 68 languages, like apparently fluently because he was a diplomat. But he literally was naked all the time, studying all day, all morning, and he neglected his wife. And I don't know. Apparently, he's legit. So you can actually see you search off Shalma Emil Krebs. He gave like a very good video of this part. Yeah, the king Lao Shu. I actually mentioned him in one of my streams the other day. I was like surprised he's dead. So, he died like 5-6 years ago. So, it's very sad. His method is like the same thing. Does he understand them? Can he talk to them? He's happy, but I think he takes it to like the B1 level, maybe B1 level, because talking to someone at a random grocery store is still pretty hard. Because if you're in control of the conversation, right? You have control like the area around the range of how much vocabulary can be used. Like for example, the moment you ask them, "Are you Korean?" Okay, from there you pretty much just reduce the amount of work to actually reduce the range of words to be that can be possibly used. One moment. Yeah, his Chinese is a king though. He studied like 10 years. He did it with like textbooks back in the day, but even though he tried LingQ like 2005, he didn't use it that much. He prefers method, and I get like doing 1 to 10 to 20 with Anki, LingQ, etc. I'm talking about doing it at once in parallel and not separate. Yeah, because the thing is, if you learn 2 to 3 at one time, oh, please give me a moment. But I appreciate you visiting Fahad Mohammed 5734. I've never seen you, so you must be new. So basically, thanks for the shout out. I'm a small channel, so you're just as normal as me. We're very casual. I just started, but I think it's nice that the people like you are here just to talk to me, because I can get very lonely here because all I do is study. And so basically, back to your question, and sequential is because if you do it every day, you will make progress. But if you stop at some point for any language, it will decrease in terms of literacy. It just takes very Hi Snorlax. It will decay very slowly at some point. So for example, if you study for 2 days and you stop for one day, your progress goes back down 2 days worth of work. The thing is, if you do listening, that stays with you subconsciously and you can always refresh any time. But in terms of actually actively learning the words, you have to pretty much keep going. And once you reach a certain point, then you can pretty much be maintenance mode. But for most of my languages, I reach the 10 language I mentioned. I acquire enough words that I'm at maintenance mode, that I don't have to prioritize learning new words, because the biggest hassle was the new words, and now I can just focus on the most important was listening, because listening will always be with you forever, and that's where actual progress happens. Babies listen, you start talking, that's real progress. So my progress is like going slow. So I'm being realistic. If I do this like every day, it takes like 4 years. It took my Mandarin 4 years to be happy. Like I'm satisfied. Like I finally reached the point that okay, no one will judge me completely anymore. And I visited Taiwan, and then they thought I was like a local. Maybe some of them thought I was from Guangzhou or Hong Kong, but that's different for accent wise. But yeah, I pretty much put in the hard work to get all the known words. As in, I study all these words. Now I can convert that to listening, and the listening to talking, because the final objective is to listen and talk, right? So if you're listening, you have the ability to talk eventually. So because the biggest obstacle is actually reading and learning words, because if you can skip that and go straight to listening and you have full comprehension of everything, you're pretty much like you can learn like 1,000 languages, because the only obstacle is how fast can you learn new words, because that's why it takes like people so long, because they write notebooks with hand. Okay, imagine you write one word of the language. Okay, that's like 5 seconds, right? But what happens if you use technology at its max potential, like LingQ, if you know what LingQ is? Like you click on a word, instant translation. Okay, compared to someone that wrote a word, why write? Writing does help you learn the word, because when you write, you create neurons, you actually learn the word, right? But if you use your visual cognitive, as in you see cognitive. For example, you see a new person, you don't know who that person is. So that's equivalent of an unknown word. But we ask them for their name, they give you a name. That's the definition of a word. Equivalent. But the first time, you might not remember that person's name. It'll take you like 0 to 20 times. So and then like the 15th time later, you might know his name. It's like, oh, you know about Jeff? Okay, okay, it's Jeff. Oh, that's the definition. So now you know that person. So the equivalent is that you need to learn like a lot of people. You need to make a lot of friends. So that's the equivalent in this case. So basically the reason I did 10, because one, I did all the hard work of acquiring all the words, and all I have to do is just listen. Yeah, Link makes you appreciate all the technology we have to speed up the language learning nowadays. I would be pissed if I learned language in pre-internet. Yeah, imagine going to the library and actually had to borrow a tape recorder and like super terrible lessons that only tell you about this is the map of China. Today, this is the map of China. Like, okay. But the cool thing is you're in control of all your contents, which makes things a godsend. Yeah, I really appreciate. Okay, because I think I said in this video, like 1 second out of the 3 hours, that without LingQ, I would not learn a Mandarin. I would be a monolingual forever, just like how without blah blah blah, I wouldn't be able to do this, right? So technology is insane. So I could debate that you can learn 60 languages in your whole lifetime by just using LingQ. But of course, like this guy spent like his entire 18 hours awake, so you pretty much have to do the same thing, but it'll be faster. But maintaining it every day, because this guy's memory is insane. I don't know how he learned the language and it just kept the knowledge. But to be fair, he's really using the language, so he doesn't really care, because when you reach a certain level of understanding the conversational, it's actually very easy. But we get to the technical stuff, like your working situation, politics, medical, bank applications. Okay, that's way beyond the range. Like, if you're just talking and asking about how their kids are doing, okay, it's actually not that hard. But you have to prepare for like every possible conversational case. It's not that many. No, it's not that many. Appreciate it, Fahad Muhammad. Yeah, it just I do what I can. People criticize me because my method is unorthodox, but spoken by quoted Mike learning Japanese. He actually quoted me about the unorthodox comment. It's very funny. So I actually searched Mike learning Japanese. He's actually very nice enough to even tell me about. If you study Japanese and doing Anki, you should try Jiu-Jitsu. I did do Link, so I'm already in like the deep end array of Japanese, so I'm already at 55. If you use Link, I think this number is I way surpassed the advanced 2 right now. Yeah, I still believe in Link for times Japanese. It helped me learn a lot of words because I had Mandarin as foundation, so Japanese was like a breeze. Only thing was annoying was katakana, hiragana. So if you listen to Steve Kaufman, that was my only thing that helped me back. It takes time to hiragana, katakana, and beyond the range of Japanese, the next problem is the grammar and listening, and that's pretty much it. Once you figure out grammar and listening, you're pretty much done. So those two like the hardest. But I still debate that Arabic will be the hardest. If I were to tackle Arabic, that would be like king of hell. Like this is like the key. That's what the reason it's at the top, because it's king of hell in terms of definition. Yeah, I did. I did. Why not? Other than that, you can literally just use Quizlet for katakana, hiragana. You can learn the vocab from there and then just go straight to Link. So honestly, if you go from Mandarin to Cantonese, actually that's pretty hard too. Same script, different pronunciation. Japanese, same. Okay, Japanese is actually a lot harder. It's a terrible comparison. I recommend going straight to Link because you know Mandarin, so might have to go straight to Japanese. The only thing you're gonna get annoyed with is katakana, hiragana, grammar system, and listening. But you have the characters. You pretty much you conquer the kanji, which is the final boss of Japanese. And why not just abuse that, right? The knowledge that you have. It's very useful. Like imagine if it's GitHub and Android app that can make Ankios from local videos. Link is good for reading. Yeah. The only useful thing about Link is reading, but there's also sentence mode. Like that's a godsend. But I use language reactor. That's like godsend beyond godsend. But I had to leave like in a minute, so I appreciate you guys are here. But I'm actually going to record my first Prep League class for you guys. I want to record it. I can't live stream it because it glitches for some reason, but I record it. I just post it. It'll happen tomorrow. So, because you might hear my Mandarin, so just try your best not to cringe. If I don't know how I sound like, but I'm just glad they understand me and they don't cringe. So that means I think I did a decent job. I might not sound good, but do they understand me? Yes. I say, okay, I'm cool. I'm cool. But yeah, Mike learns Japanese. He mentioned me in his video. I hope he's like asking if he like nice. Appreciate it. He actually messaged me here. I wish he does the interview for me though. Mike learns Japanese. This is his latest video, by the way. Just find the most updated. Okay, he actually gave me the shout out, and I actually got some people into the channel. I was thinking, where these subscribers came from. I wish, but he's like, I don't think he thinking about it right now. I'm cool with it, but it'll be nice. He actually moved to California, and that's where I'm from. So if he's legit, like we can meet in person, but of course, strangers internet. But I think I have to be more known, so I guess I have to stream every day, and then my subscribers go up and up. post some progress, and that's about it. Why don't I reach out to him? I don't think he will mind. Honestly, yeah, that's true. He actually replied to my last post yesterday. I get that with bigger gaming channels like you see YouTube and they're pretty accepting. Dang, you're famous? the things I meet, the people I meet nowadays. There he is. Hopefully he doesn't get mad at me, but he did reply to me. Should I just reply to him? You know what? I'll actually ask him. How do I do this? Just for your sake. I don't know if he actually would accept it. That'd be a good opportunity, though. If he's even accepting, if he accepts messages. Oh my god. Okay. Hey man, I enjoyed watching your Japanese videos on YouTube. I saw that you mentioned me in your latest video and was actually wondering if you would like just to have a meeting and just discuss language learning. Keep up the hard work. Chitran, Kevin, whatever. I don't even know. All right, we'll see. If he responds, cool. Otherwise, it's all cool. That's funny. Yep. Okay. If he actually says yes, you'll be the first to know. I'll directly message you, say thanks for the idea for actually directly messaging that guy. Where's the comment? I would like to support my comments. It's actually right here. I don't know. You can see it. It's the only one that doesn't have a single. He mentioned Seabolt Speaks. You know, I was like actually surprised. Seabolt Speaks actually followed me right after this video. I was like, oh my god, I actually got like a language guy. Ooh, 100. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. My first 100. I'll take it. Anyways, am I able to show my YouTube studio? Is that legal without getting banned?